Good morning. It is Wednesday. Let me check. May 27th. Hope everyone had a great Memorial Day. Yes, I know you're probably have already commented that my beard is not here anymore. It got really hot and I was tired of dealing with it. So I decided to go goatee. Basically, this is what I look like in college. And Jamie said I look like I'm a teenager again. So win-win. I don't apparently look as old as I did when I had a beard. So this morning, what I want to do is reveal the round of 64 winners for our EPYM Movie Franchise Bracket. In case you didn't hear over the last couple weeks, last week I opened up the round of 64, the movie franchise bracket. We're going to go round by round each week. It'll be available for you on this coming Friday to vote for round 2. The winning movie franchise is what we are going to watch for our movie marathon this summer. Sometime this summer when we're allowed to do that. So we've had 64 movie franchises. It is now down to 32, and I'm going to reveal those to you. Now, you probably had a good idea of what was moving on, and maybe I'm saying a little too much here. Pretty much it was chalk all the way through. If you don't know what that means, the better seed basically won. There were a couple of upsets, but they were a little minor. So we're going to start off with the overall number 1 seed. I have them right here. Now, there were several that voted. So here we go. Popcorn region, overall number 1 seed. Avengers destroyed Scooby-Doo. It was 87.5% of you voted for Avengers. 12.5% voted for Scooby-Doo. So Avengers moves on. Now we're about to figure out who their opponent's going to be in the second round. It was between 8 seed Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, versus the 9 seed Hobbit. This one was a little closer, but Spider-Man pulled away a little late, so 62.5% voted for Spider-Man. So in the second round of the popcorn region, you have the overall number 1 seed Avengers going off against number 8 seed Spider-Man, the O2 version. So in the next matchup in the popcorn region, you had Shrek versus Lego. I thought this one would be closer than it was. 75% of you voted for Shrek, me included. But Shrek moved on against Lego. So a 5 seed Shrek moves on. And they are going to face, and this one was another one that just destroyed, Indiana Jones, the 4 seed, destroyed Wolverine. Another 87.5% voted for Indiana Jones. So it will be Shrek versus Indiana Jones in the second round. So far we have Avengers versus Spider-Man in the second round of the popcorn region, and Shrek versus Indiana Jones. Now this one gets to, I think, the most obscure matchup that will be Despicable Me pulled away against Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So the 6 seed Despicable Me, 62.5% of you voted for Despicable Me. And then their opponent will be 3 seed Dark Knight. Dark Knight, 83% of people voted for Dark Knight. That was a runaway. So Despicable Me, a 6 seed versus 3 seed Dark Knight. I thought that was a very obscure matchup. And another one that I think is interesting is the next matchup. Rocky versus Twilight. Rocky pulled off the win here. 62.5% voted for Rocky. And Toy Story just destroyed Muppets. 87.5% of you voted for Toy Story. So you have Rocky versus Toy Story to round out the popcorn region. So real fast in the popcorn region, We have Avengers versus Spider-Man in the second round. We have Shrek versus Indiana Jones in the second round. We have Despicable Me versus Dark Knight in the second round. And we have Rocky versus Toy Story to round out the second round of the popcorn region. So now, moving on, we have 3 other regions to go. The soft pretzel region. The number 1 seed Harry Potter destroyed Jack Ryan. 83% of you voted for Harry Potter. And then this one was the biggest. Out of any matchup we had, this was the biggest rout of them all, which shocked me because it's an 8 versus 9 seed. Men in Black got a 95.8% vote. That is the highest. Like I said, that's the highest. In fact, I had checked it with about an hour left to go on Tuesday morning. It was 100%. So someone voted for Descendants kind of late in the game, but 2 or maybe 2 people did, but too little too late. Men in Black destroyed Descendants. Like I said, 95.8, almost 96% of people voted for Men in Black. So it will be Harry Potter versus Men in Black in the second round, in the round of 32, in the soft pretzel region. And then you had Lion King versus Maze Runner. I thought this was going to be more of a runaway than it was. Lion King, 54% voted for Lion King over Maze Runner. That was one of the closer matchups. In fact, I think that was tied for a while. So Lion King barely pulls out against Maze Runner. And then this one hurts, but it's okay. I figured Mission Impossible would pull away, and they did. 62.5% of you voted for Mission Impossible over 37.5% voting for Mighty Ducks. So Lion King versus Mission Impossible will be in the second round. Back to the Future. 75% of you, 6 seed, destroyed 11 seed Planet of the Apes. So they are going off against the newer Spider-Man, the one that I don't necessarily agree is a trilogy or, should be classified as a movie franchise. But they destroyed Night at the Museum. 87.5% of you voted for Spider-Man. So Back to the Future versus Spider-Man. Vote Back to the Future. I think Back to the Future is automatically lost there, but it's fine. And then to round it out, Hunger Games versus X-Men. That one was close for a while. Hunger Games pulled it out. And then Captain America versus the Mummy. That was another one. I guess that one was equal to Men in Black and Descendants. I didn't realize that until just now. 95.8% voted for Captain America over the Mummy. So that was another route. And then to start off, the Hot Tamales region. Actually, let me go again real quick. You have Harry Potter versus Men in Black, Lion King versus Mission Impossible, Back to the Future versus the newer Spider-Man, and then Hunger Games versus Captain America. So now let's go to the Hot Tamales region. I'll go a little faster here. High School Musical, destroyed Medea. 87.5% of you voted for High School Musical. This was the first upset, and it was a minor upset, but it still was an upset. Cars destroyed Star Trek. 70.8% of you, including myself, chose Cars. So it will be 1 seed High School Musical. I almost said High School Medea. High School Musical will face 9 seed Cars. 75% of you voted for Fast and the Furious over Santa Claus. And then another 75% of you voted for Home Alone versus Spy Kids. So this one could be a very close matchup between Fast and the Furious, a 5 seed, versus 4 seed Home Alone. Then to move on, Jurassic Park. 70.8% of you voted for that over Pitch Perfect. And Thor, another 75% voted Thor over Superman. So you're going to have Jurassic Park versus Thor. And then another upset. The only 2 upsets we have are both in the same region. Again, not a major upset, but 10 seed Transformers. 54% of you over Chronicles of Narnia. I know that one was a tie for a while, but Transformers pulls away. And then this one shocked me a little bit. I mean, Lord of the Rings did win, but not by what I expected. Only 66% voted Lord of the Rings, 33% voted Sandlot, but Lord of the Rings wins. So rounding out the hot tamales region with a couple of upsets in it, High School Musical will face 9-seed Cars, 5-seed Fast and the Furious will face 4-seed Home Alone, 6-seed Jurassic Park will face 3-seed Thor, 10-seed Transformers will face 2-seed Lord of the Rings, and then the last region. Star Wars blew out Little Mermaid. 87.5% of you voted Star Wars. Another close one was Ice Age and Addams Family, another 8-9 seed. Ice Age pulled it out. 54.2% voted Ice Age, so it's going to be Star Wars versus Ice Age. Another close one for a while, but Divergent pulled away. 58.3% voted Divergent, or Divergent, however you pronounce it. But Divergent beat Karate Kid. So they will face off against Jumanji. 75% of you voted Jumanji over Madagascar. And then 6-seed Kung Fu Panda beat up on Ocean's 11. 66% of you voted for Kung Fu Panda. And then another blowout, not quite a rout like what we saw earlier, but Iron Man got 91.7% of the votes versus Ghostbusters. So Iron Man moves on. So it'll be Kung Fu Panda versus Iron Man. And then the last matchup of the region, and the last matchup we're going to look at for the round of 32 here, will be Bourne Identity. That one was a blowout for a while, but got real close. 54% voted Bourne Identity over How to Train Your Dragon. And then this one was close for the longest time, and a lot of people actually voted for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But Pirates of the Caribbean does move on at 62.5% of the votes. So to round it out, real quick, in the M&M region, we have Star Wars going off against Ice Age, a 1-8 matchup there. 5-seed Divergent will go off against 4-seed Jumanji. 6-seed Kung Fu Panda will go off against 3-seed Iron Man. 7-seed The Bourne Identity or Bourne Movies will go up against the 2-seed Pirates of the Caribbean. So, if you were paying attention, I tried to go slow enough for you to know what we're going to have happen in the second round. So hopefully you were able to get those matchups. You'll be able to see them when the voting opens up. It will open up this Friday, the 29th, at 9 a.m. This time, though, it's only going to be open until... Actually, no, it will stay. It will stay open till Tuesday, and it will close at 9 a.m. So you'll have, I think, 4 days to vote, which is plenty of time. From what I've seen, I think you actually can vote more than once. So if you do want to vote more than once, that's fine. So yeah, that's going to be the round of 32. Very excited for these matchups for these rounds. Just another quick announcement, really fast, is of course we didn't have our Zoom youth group last night. There will be a recorded lesson that will be available at 7:30 tonight on YouTube. I'll make sure I'll text that out to the teens. And then also you can find it on Facebook at the East Point Youth Ministry Facebook page. And I'll send that out to the East Point Parents group as well. So anyways, there will be a lesson available tonight. Again, I'm sorry that we weren't able to meet yesterday. I was getting back into town. So anyways, that is all I have right now. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you later.